All right, the next one is the live connection. What is a live connection? Live connection, it is a direct connection to the source system. Like direct query, even the case of live mode, it will have a direct connection with your source system. The data will not be stored in your Power BI desktop. And even in the case of live connection, the charts in your report will query your source and system file every time from your Power BI. And other limitation with the limitation with the live connection is it can work only with the SSAS, SQL Server, Analytical Service, Tabular, and then SSAS, multi-dimensional. Multi-dimensional, okay. And apart from this, Power BI service. For this, what I did, I have used the PBI DS dataset, Power BI dataset, PBDS, and we discussed what are the limitations with PBDS in detail in the past session. You can watch that video. Okay, and the limitation with live connection, yes, it can work only with these three source system or these three things. Okay, it cannot work with any other thing, and we cannot put tabular and dimensional. If you know SSAS, you know it, right? I have a mix of people. I don't want to overwhelm them now. So tabular is something, a tabular, multi-dimensional cube. You know, right? You worked in Crystal Report, right? Crystal Report, do you create cube, Ramya? You have an option to create cube? No. Oh, okay. Then your question is, then you're not aware of that one, right? Do you know the report where we can create, in which report file we can create multi-dimensional? Any idea? You worked only with Crystal Report, Ramya? Yes, okay, okay. Then you do not know what is cube. So multi-dimensional, nothing but cube. What is cube? If you are part of a data warehouse, you should be knowing it. What is cube? Just see, in the school time, we have used cube, right? To play, we rotate the cube and then we will be playing it, right? So what we do is we create a cube. In this cube, you make sure that you keep all the dimensions, okay, all the dimensions. So whichever direction you rotate the cube, okay, or right, whichever dimensions that you want to view the data, that is possible. In the case of multi-dimensional tabular, it is not a cube. Okay, this is the cube. Again, in the case of SSAS, what they do is they refresh the cube. They schedule some kind of data refresh for the cube. This has to be scheduled. Okay, and cube. In the case of cube Cognos, you heard about Cognos. It is a reporting tool. Okay, there they create the cube here. Just for your knowledge sake, I'm just telling. See, just knowing what is Power BI alone not sufficient, because Power BI falls under business intelligence space. Business intelligence. Power BI is one of the tool. And the interview time, like, if they ask you, right, what is multi-dimensional, you should be knowing it, right? So what is multi-dimensional? Nothing but cube. That's the reason why I'm telling. So in Cognos, we can create cube. Cognos is a reporting tool, but it is not a data visualization tool. It is not a self-service business intelligence tool. And here, the case of SSAS, also you can create cube like Cognos. Okay. And what is cube? Cube is multi-dimensional. You can slice and dice the data if you have created the cube in any dimension. For example, if I wanted to view the data with the customer dimension by using customer dimension, or I want to slice it, this is your data. For example, this is your data. Okay. If you wanted to slice your data, with customer, you want to see the region wise, and quarter wise, customer wise sales performance, or region wise, quarter wise, top 5 customers. You want to generate a report. So in this case, you are using customer dimension. Quarter is nothing but date dimension. The region is another dimension. Right? You are using multi-dimensional here. You will be using all the dimension tables, and then you create a cube here. Okay. So that you can do slicing and dicing. You just out of this total data, you can slice this data and you can dice it. Okay. So slicing and dicing, these are the term that it's slice and dice. You can slice and dice the data in the case of multidimensional. For that, we'll be using cube. With the advantage of the cube is you can do slicing and dicing the data. Okay. With live connection, you can establish with either SSIS or SSIS or Power BI service. Thank God it is available in Power BI service. The SSIS I don't have. Okay. Yeah, SSIS. I don't. I just uninstall it. Okay, probably later sometime I will show you. Okay, how to establish the live connection with SSIS. For the time being, Power BI service I have shown you how to establish a connection Power BI data set. Look here, this is what I have shown you, right? If you go to the get data here and you will find Power BI data set, PBIDS. It is called PBIDS. So in this case, what happens, you cannot work with you cannot mix other type of file with the PBA data sets. In this case, what happens is you are connecting directly to the cloud, and then you are importing the data for any specific report file, right? Any specific report data, you are going to establish a live connection. Okay, so in that case, in the case of live connection, what happens is you will not find this data view. This is already, the previous session explained it. Ramya, you attended, right, that session? If not, you can watch my video, okay? And then any questions, you let me know, okay? Okay, so this is the one. So in that case, it establishes a live connection. What happens is, in the case of Power BI datasets, the idea of this one is, as a report designer, you don't have to do the data model design. You don't have to do the data pre-processing. It's all done by someone else. Let's say he's a BA architect. He did the data model design and he did the data transformation, data pre-processing, everything. Only thing is, your job is only in the report canvas. You can go and refer it. Okay, the link between the tables, all the things, has been done by someone else. Okay, and then data transfer also done, data pre-processing, everything has been done by something. But in the case of live connection, when you select here the transform data, if you want to go to the Power Query editor, first of all, this one would have got disabled. Also, you cannot mix any other source file with the PBIDS data set. The idea here is to have better control on your data model. So let's say you have so many tables, other mistakenly when you select something and when you look at something, mistakenly if you deleted something, the data in your visual will not get filtered correctly. It will show inaccurate value. Okay. So only if I allow you to modify or delete it, you will end up with that kind of issues. Hence, what they do is, it's kind of a read only. In the case of PBADS, the data model is read only. Just for viewing purpose only, you can see it here for reference. Okay, which data are coming, which column comes from which column, and which all tables that I need to navigate in order to do some kind of aggregation or something like that. Okay, for that you need to look at this one. That's all. But in the case of PBADS, you don't have to be aware of what is the source system, server name, the login credentials. Everything is pre-wired. Everything is pre-wired. That means it's all already done by someone else. Your job is only go to the Power BI report canvas, go and create the visuals and drag and drop the column into that visuals, and then you do the design. That's all. Okay. So hope you understood what is live connection is all about. Okay, with Power BI service I've explained you, right? So the Power BI data sets. Okay, like the direct query mode. Even in the case of live connection, it will not store a second copy of the data in your memory, or it will not be pushed to your sources, the Power BI server. Okay, the data will be there in the place where the source system is there. We are not going to extract the data from source system and load it in your Power BI. Okay, we are not going to do that mistake. We directly establish a live connection, this one, with your Power BI service data or SSAS and SSAS, stable or multi. So the limitation of the live connection is you cannot use any other sources. Only you can work with these kind of three sources. This type of system only you can establish a live connection. So what are the advantages? There is no size limitation because the data is available on cloud. You don't have to have any size limitation. You don't have to have any storage here, and you can perform the DAX. You can use the DAX functions. Okay, you can use more DAX functions compared to direct query mode. The direct query mode, you can use only certain DAX queries, DAX functions, not all the DAX functions. But here also there are some limitations, but not much. But you cannot, the disadvantage, you cannot perform any data pre-processing. Okay, you will not, you cannot do any data pre-processing. And also you cannot mix data from different sources. If you work with Power BI service, that's it. You need to use only these files. If anything is there in the Power BI service, you'll have to use that only. You cannot mix it with any other system. The next question is, of these three type of connectivity mode or storage mode, import and live connection mode, import, direct and live. Okay, and we have something called dual. It is also called the composite mode. Okay, dual. So in this case, also right, dual is an hybrid of both import as well as the direct. Depends on the situation. It use the import or direct query mode. So import, direct, and live. Of these four, which one is faster? The import is faster always, and even Microsoft recommends use wherever it is possible the import connectivity mode. I don't know what is wrong with my internet. Am I audible to you all? I can see that my internet connection was unstable. Okay, the import is better. So Microsoft recommends use wherever it is possible use the import connectivity mode, and but again, there is no hard and fast rule. If the volume of the data is too high, then you can go for direct query mode or direct connectivity mode. And the live connection on a case-to-case basis, you can use it. But the advantage of this one is you can use a lot of DAX functions, but you cannot perform data transformation. That is one disadvantage here. Okay, and but when you compare all these three, let's take a look at only these three. Import is better if the volume of the data is moderate. If the volume of data is very high, then you can go for direct query mode. And the live connection and direct query mode. If you want to compare these two, which one is better? Live performance is better. To compare only these two, direct and versus live performance is better compared to the direct query mode. Okay, but overall, we cannot generalize. We cannot say always import is better. We cannot say always direct is better. We cannot say always live is better. Okay, and we have something else called the composite mode. So in the case of composite mode, it will cache the data wherever it is required, or it generates the query. It works in dual mode. Okay, as the name suggests, either it is a direct query mode or the import mode. Now the question is, okay, let's take let's spend some time quickly to take up this quiz. In which place Power BI desktop data being stored? In which place? In the case of import mode, which place the Power BI desktop data being stored? It is so whether it's import or direct query mode. The direct query mode, the data will not get loaded here, but still the metadata will get stored here. The Power BI desktop file itself, right? In the import mode, the data is copied to the report itself. In the case of direct query mode, the data will not get copied here because the question was here data, right? Metadata, if they specify, yes, the direct query mode, it stores the metadata. Even in the case of live connection, it stores the metadata. Now the question is, what is the difference between import and direct mode? We already discussed. And what is composite mode? It is a combination of both import as well as the direct query. Which kind of connectivity mode is faster, direct query or live? If they ask you something, then you can say the live mode. If you plan to take up this certification, PL300, Microsoft, the Power BI data analyst exam. All right. So then you can expect these kind of questions. Okay. So this one, the live is faster. Why live is faster compared to direct query? Can someone tell me? Okay, the thing is like SSAS, as I said, multi-dimensional, right? In the case of multi-dimensional, what happens? It's a cube. They store they cache the cube in the memory. In the SSAS itself, they would have cached this multi-dimensional data in this cube, right? The cube data they would have already cached. Since you are establishing a live connection with SSAS multi-dimensional, in this case, the data is already cached, hence the performance is pretty faster. Next one is the data profiling. Okay, so next we will understand what exactly data profiling is all about. Hope you understood the difference between the 4 types of storage mode or the connectivity mode. Basically, we are supposed to use this term, the storage mode. Okay, and we discussed about the pros and cons. And on a case-to-case basis, you need to decide which type of connectivity or storage mode that you need to use it. Okay.